Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Alien vs. Predator Galaxy YouTube channel. Very nearly said podcast then, but I didn't. I'm Aaron Percival, aka Corporal Hicks, and joining me is regular partner in crime,
Adam Zeller, aka Ridgetop.
And we're back for another motion tracker video about Aliens Fireteam, because IGN. Every time we start one of these videos, every time I mention IGN to do with the massive exclusive this month, in my head,
you always have. You're never gonna let that go, are you?
I'm not. The
Alien Isolation review.
And it's the same guy as well doing all the coverage.
Well, maybe he's just an Aliens guy, man.
Yeah, apparently. So yes, there's going to be probably lots of these videos this month, because IGN have pretty much got like 2 things per week to do with Fireteam.
Yeah, it's been interesting having just this, after waiting to hear anything on this game for so long, for like, what, 3.5 years, almost 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
We now have this news blitz of like multiple pieces of news per week. It's pretty cool.
Very welcome, actually. I'm quite enjoying it. And this time, so we've had the announcement, we've had some gameplay footage, and we've had 6 of the aliens from the game. Now it's the Colonial Marines side, and this time IGN was joined by the lead combat and something else designer, who I've now forgotten, who took them through 2 of the 5 classes, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, five Marine classes, and they took us through 2 of them in this video, and it was the Technician and the Gunner. And there was, with aliens, you know, the Colonial Marines aesthetic, there's always that sort of gun porn appreciation side of the Colonial Marines and the side of aliens. So, and one of the things that I took note of, and I've pulled up for this video, is some of the new kit that they're rocking up, some of the new weaponry. And so naturally as well, I decided, since I don't think I've ever shown it off on here, that I'd bring my own little piece of aliens gun porn.
And this is one that you paid to have upgraded, right? So you could actually take it out to your airsoft games, and it can compete. Because I know the base Evike one, it's okay. It's kind of like a middle of the road one.
It's a bag of shit. It's a bag of shit. It's the Evike one and the one I've got are both the same manufacturer, Snow Wolf. And yeah, it's not great. So yeah, I had a local techie gut mine and upgrade it, so it's better. I haven't actually had a chance to rock out this version yet, because I had work done on it, but then I had to take it back in, and then we had the lockdown, and I haven't been out playing.
Got to put some rails on that thing. Make it look like that Blomkamp prop.
No, I'm happy with it as it is. I
also recently got one. As long as we're doing show and tell here, I got a black one from Evike. This is just a prop. I don't really go out and play airsoft games anymore like I used to, but I really should. So maybe I will upgrade my other one, because I do have a green one. So if I can find someone to do to that what someone did to yours, that would be nice.
Uh-huh. And mine, I had mine custom painted as well. So I have a thing for smiley faces. So I've got one of those painted onto the side of it. But yes, that was just a little show and tell. And we'll actually have a look at Cold Iron's show and tell now.
I know some people will gripe about the pulse rifle. It looks too different. But I think it looks good.
In no particular order of these screen... Oh, no, that's a lie. In alphabetical order of the renamed files is some of the stuff we're going to be going through.
Now, you recognize the brand here, right?
I certainly do. Hyperdyne. So it's Bishop's manufacturers. They also make weaponry. And in this case, I really like this. A kick-ass looking futuristic shotgun.
Yeah.
Known as the DT-57 Medved. So all the stats down. I mean, they'll be pretty meaningless to us at the minute, but all the stats are down here. And we've also got a look at some of the other stuff that the game will be doing in terms of customization. So there's 3 slots for mods.
A muzzle, magazine, and an optics.
Mm-hmm. So medium muzzle, internal magazine, and small optics, which is this little low profile kind of red dot thing. I bet you there's gonna be drum mags for this thing. I bet it's gonna look gorgeous.
And we also have further customization with paint, so you can change the color of the weapon itself, and decals if you want to put stickers on it.
And there best be smiley faces. And on the next panel, there is a little, I call it fluff, but some people tend to get offended by that, a bit of lore around the gun. So the DT-57, it says the first paragraph is, like its namesake, the DT-57 is ferocious in close combat. It's a Star Wars gun. It's one of the blasters from the prequel trilogy.
Oh, does that have the same name?
Yeah.
DT-57?
I had to Google it because I didn't recognize it as a proper brand. So I had a look, and yes, a Star Wars rifle from the prequels. Okay, so like its namesake, the DT-57 is ferocious in close combat. Its double-barrel design allows for immense firepower, but needs frequent reloading. The Medved Bear was Sophia Tamarkina's last design. An engineer at Weyland-Yutani, she spoke in favour of better conditions for custodial staff. In retaliation, she was moved to the remote mining outpost of Kerguelen. When revolution swept through Hades, she volunteered to design weapons for the local Unity Committee. So all the weapons that we've actually seen seem to have this little bit of lore aspect on the side of it, which I like. I like that kind of thing.
No sign of the VP-70 yet, unfortunately.
No. Even the one in Colonial Marines wasn't actually called the VP-70. It was some other random name.
Oh, wait, go back for a second. I didn't notice this the first time I watched the video, but it looks like we're also going to have emotes. So hopefully we'll have some, Fortnite-style dances that our Marines can do.
What are you saying that?
Right next to equipment.
Oh, yeah. I hope it's not Fortnite dances. I really do.
I'm kidding, but
yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they come up with for that one. But hopefully not too.
Should be like that old AVP Classic stuff where it's just like groove it and like hoo-ah! Like you remember that, right?
Not
Rebellion's Classic 2000. You press,
groovy.
Yeah, one of them was groovy.
Okay.
Yeah, I will show you. We're about to let's play that one, so I will show you all the different taunts. That's what they called them back then. They called them taunts, not emotes. Emotes is like the new kid lingo.
I've never really been one for playing with those kind of things. If it's not Duke Nukem saying stuff as you press space on the toilet or the sink, I've never been interested. So there's a bunch of random stuff in throughout these screenshots. So we have a bit of environmental stuff here, something that is surely to kill Adam.
Man, you always got to bring up how much I love the prequels, but no, it's kind of funny because I remember we had reports before Colonial Marines came out that they were incorporating elements of Prometheus, and I was like, no, don't, just do aliens. And now we're just full on going to a Prometheus style temple here, so I'm like, I need to just accept it at this point.
The engineers are definitely in this game at this point. I think at least their locations. I doubt we'll see an engineer, although I wouldn't be against it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think they will. But yeah, it makes you wonder if they have a facility like this that looks like what we saw in Prometheus and Alien Covenant, if there's going to be anything related to the accelerant or not. But it could just be there's alien eggs in this big temple, like, again, going back, I've been playing through AVP Classic 2000 in preparation, and that was like the OG stone temple, other than like, the original concepts for Alien.
Temple of unknown origin.
Yeah. So if it's just something like that, where it's just, we find this obviously inspired by Prometheus and Covenant Temple that has aliens in it and has some sort of history you can find in there, but doesn't really give us too many definitive, like, universe breaking answers, then
I doubt it will be.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that plays with the engineers has got to skirt, really, because there's still the slight chance that Ridley Scott might get to come back and fuck everything up with a third prequel. I have mixed feelings about the prequels. Like, I really love Covenant up until the third act. Prometheus frustrates the hell out of me, but I really like the engineers. But I like them as a imitator of the space jockeys. So I find them a really interesting. They get some confusing reactions out of me. So the stone aesthetics never been something I've really been keen on from Prometheus. I never liked the stone incarnation of Giga's patterns or anything like that. So I think I'd be I'd be more happy to see the biomechanical stylings that we got a bit more of in Covenant when they went in the ship and the original Alien than perhaps the stone architecture. But I'm looking forward.
Could be like Prometheus, where the stone architecture is a temple, and as you go deeper, it gets to more of the biomechanical-esque look of the inside of the derelict. It was still more mechanical than it was in the first film, than it was in Alien.
But I'm excited to see the engineers being explored potentially in terms of the lore, because what I always liked about Prometheus was the potential avenues that they could introduce into the series, so it's not so narrow in terms of the stories that can be told. They can try and do other weird and crazy things. So yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing where Cold Iron goes with the engineers inclusion. So just another screenshot of one of the Stony Temple locations. I still don't like these RPG UI elements. I do hope they go. I will say that.
Just based on the game works, I don't have a problem with it. I really think we should have the option to be able to turn them off.
Well, that would be nice, yeah.
But this, I've noticed a few comments on our forum that's like, oh, this is deeper than I thought after they watched this video. And it's just really interesting how, and I'm sure you have an image coming up here as far as like how the loadout slots go, Aaron. But when you pick your different class, like different classes have different specializations, but you can really tweak those. Like with the engineer, you have these turrets, but you can have turrets that like are flamethrower turrets,
which is what this panel is here.
Yeah. So and these different stats connect with each other and affect each other. And so you can put together your own build for your own Marine as part of their class. And you want the classes to kind of work in synchronization with the other players that you're with. So I do kind of like those RPG stat elements a bit here. It seems like it's just kind of the right amount, especially for, again, this really reminds me of Warframe. It's the same type of thing. You have these different types of Warframes, and they all have different specializations, and you want to put together a squad that will work together effectively. And so if this game can pull that off, I really think it'll be an interesting new kind of experience that we haven't seen in the gaming space for this franchise before.
So I actually lied. This is the grenade rather than the turret. So yeah, I just pulled random bits of stuff from the loadout bit. So this is showing that you can upgrade your grenade into an incendiary grenade, and there's also a option for a remote detonator. Random modifier perk there improves the cooldown speed of an ability by 20%. That's the remote detonator. Says exactly just what it says on the tin.
And you can see it's color coded too. So the green is gunner only, and the blue is universal use, which means you can use them for any class, I assume.
I think the green is specific to the class that you're on.
Right.
Yeah. Since we're looking at the gunner grid at the minute.
That's what I mean.
Another one of the perks here increases reload speed and range of rifles by 15%. So it does seem like there's going to be a lot of toying mechanics, a lot of upgradability mechanics, which I think is really important for the longevity of the gameplay, especially in terms of unlocking and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot more depth than I was expecting, which I am really happy to see. I know we keep making the comparisons back to Colonial Marines, but Colonial Marines was dipping its toe in the sort of current mechanics. and current features, and it was only a toe dip. It was only very shallow. The customization, the options, the painting.
Yeah, they had a few things where you could speed up your like what do you call that? Like when you speed up the pulse rifle so it fires faster.
The rate of fire.
Right. Yeah, the rate of fire. And you had different attachments for the weapons, and you had a few modifiers, I think. Like you could turn one weapon into a burst fire. So you're right. It was very much dipping its toe, and it wasn't anything with like stats like this, where you have things that work together and you can tweak things. So,
which I'm looking forward to, actually. The gunner only perk, stay on target, which was this. So it looked like you got 3 big ones around the corner. Overclock and the fragmentation grenade were the 2 gunner specific things. I'm not sure what was it. Yeah, it says stay on target is as well, but these were like, I'm not sure, because fragmentation grenades obviously the equipment. Overclock was an ability that affected everybody in the squad, the fire team. Sorry, I had to use the game terminology. That gave them all increased rate of fire. And then we have this 3rd one down here that wasn't really talked about during the video. But stay on target. Dealing damage grants you bonus damage stacks. Stacks fall off when you stop dealing damage. That's the default grenade, the B-15 fragmentation grenade. And just the plain grid. So yeah, you have these little squares. That are what you have the space to drag and drop all your modifications, and your ability replaces down. So it does seem, I mean, the menu the menu seemed to go down quite a bit as well. So yeah, lots of stuff to play with here. How it looks, anyway.
Yeah, and hopefully with the unlocks at different levels too, this will add to the replayability factor.
Although I do have to wonder if these are your maxes then, because these are pretty low levels to go for 5 and 8. So yeah,
I also
kind of make me.
With that, I have to wonder like if there's going to be any other modes besides the campaign. If we're going to have like a wave survival mode or something like that. I know Gears did that, but something like we saw in AVP 2010 where you have a survivor mode.
It's kind of I wouldn't say a staple, but it's one of those features that's been used a few times in Alien games over the last 20 odd years. Oh god, 20 years. Because it was in AVP Classic,
a skirmish, yeah,
and then obviously Bug Hunt in Colonial Marines as well. So yeah, some sort of wave mode would be quite welcome. And here's just the generic, not the generic, the main loadout screen of the gunner. So you get 1 rifle and 1 close quarters weapon.
And that shotgun looks a bit closer to the one Hicks was using. Still a bit more of a stock on this one, but
yeah, that's very traditional looking shotgun. Though I do believe Hicks is an Ithaca, but I'm not. This will be some random thing. You've got 2 consumables down here as well. And appearance. We get a little bit of appearance tease and stuff there.
Base appearance and head accessories. So cosmetics are going to be a thing in this game. And this character here is using the Kramer assault rifle, which I guess is a bit more of a heavy assault rifle than our typical pulse rifle. But yeah, it definitely seems like this game will be contributing to the armory of the Marines, kind of like we saw Colonial Marines do. Some of the weapons of Colonial Marines appeared in subsequent comics and the RPG and such.
And the abundance of the armor customization kind of makes the 3rd person perspective make a bit more sense, because you do then get to appreciate your customization.
Yeah.
And we'll see the Kramer later on as well. And here's just a random Hive screenshot that I took because, you know me, I love my Hive settings. So I'm very happy to see.
And the Hives look great too.
Yeah, definitely. They're very leaning very heavily on the alien side, which is how I like my Hives. And here's the Kramer. I think this is ugly. I do not like the looks of this one. But this one has some interesting lore to it as well. So the Kramer is a slow-firing, hard-hitting assault rifle. Less effective at long range due to a much heavier recoil, it compensates up close with impressive stopping power. Originally made by Kramer, I'm not even going to try there. Procured for service in 2180 for use against the armored EVA suits used by the Union of Progressive Peoples. Its popularity proved a sufficient threat to Armat's profits that the company brought out KMA in 2178. Kramer continues as a wholly owned division and boutique brand of Armat. And Armat make the pulse rifles. So, yeah, we have a mention of the Union of Progressive Peoples in here, who were a thing from William Gibson's Alien 3 scripts, and had largely been untouched by the expanded universe. They were brought in again for Aliens Infestation on the DS, just before Colonial Marines came out, which was one of the things I really loved about the game, was that deeper dive into some of the older, at the time, less known Aliens lore.
But
they've made
other than that, that was pretty, like, the only time we saw it outside of Gibson's alternate Aliens retake. And then I guess thanks to the RPG, we're starting to see it in the wider universe as a significant human force.
Yeah, and I suppose the adaptations of Gibson's script as well, it's become more readily available, you know, the audio drama and the comics, and we've got the novelization coming out soon as well. But yeah, I mean, they came back big time in the RPG, which was one of the things I really liked about the RPG, because the RPG mined everything, every piece of lore really well. So to see them as a well-known faction in it was really cool. So yeah, I like that's coming into Fireteam as well. Still think it looks ugly though. And this one has a muzzle chamber and a medium magazine on it. And Way You Captain is its color scheme. I guess that's the.
No, I think. Oh, you're right. Yeah,
I guess that's the white sort of stuff, because
going with that Way You terminology from Colonial Marines still.
That I don't mind. I've never minded Way You, actually. And
this looks better.
A new incarnation of the Subbie. So the one in Colonial Marines was called the M39 as well, but it's a completely different look to it. Very, very
like a UMP almost.
Yeah, with the angled foregrip as well. But you've also got this railed handrail kind of thing that we see on the pulse rifle. And it's supposed to be made by the same people that make the pulse rifle as well, Armat.
Yeah.
So it fits in with kind of some of the design aesthetic of the new A2, which we'll see shortly. So the fluff for the Subbie is high recoil and spread, coupled with extremely high rate of fire, make this weapon fairly ineffective at anything beyond short to medium range, but incredibly lethal up close. Originally designed for Brazilian counter-terrorist forces operating in sprawling favelas, the M39's record of reliability, ease of maintenance, and short-range lethality led to a broad acceptance among rear area forces, military police, and urban assault teams. Next to the redoubtable M41 pulse rifle, it's Armat's most successful firearm. It's a bit of MP7 vibes there. And we actually didn't point these out earlier. Some of the other...
a few thumbnails that we're not going to see full sheets for. But they do hint that we will be seeing a wide variety of weapons here. I just want a sniper rifle to rival AVP-2 and AVP 2010, because those were so good.
But the scope rifle, as it is in the Colonial Marines tech manual, would be nice to finally see make an appearance.
Didn't we get that one in ACM?
I don't think that was the scope rifle. It was completely different design.
I think that one was called the tactical rifle or something like that. And here is our pulse rifle, a bit of a more future-y looking design. I like it.
I like it too. Actually.
If there's one thing I would change, I feel like the muzzle in the front is a bit too...
Well, that's one of the things that we can change.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay. So that is an attachment. So Never mind.
It's ditched the sort of original handrail design for a G36 looking thing, where it's still a carry handle, but it seems to have the rail on top, which
There's also one on the bottom as well.
Mm-hmm. So I bet one of the modifications, I don't know which, but I bet you we'll see some underslung stuff, because this is obviously missing the grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
We have a slide-in stock, but a different one rather than the hold version from the original. Yeah, I like it. It's different, but I like it. And the fluff on this one is the standard rifle of the USCM. The pulse rifle is a middle-of-the-road rifle, good at all ranges with minimum recoil. Remember, short control bursts. Designed by a retired Marine based on battlefield experience. 3 decades of incremental refinement have kept it on the front lines. The A2 redesign of 2184 reduces magazine size in favor of increased accuracy, compatibility with the latest generation of standardized accessories and attachments. So the thing here is this is an A2. The one in 2010, AVP 2010, was also an A2. So a little bit of crossover there that's not being
the
taken
AVP
into
universe, I guess. I wonder who the retired Marine was. It's probably his.
It's no. Good God, you heathen. It was actually, this was all talked about in a short in Bug Hunt, the anthology. Which was one of, every time I seem to talk about a short from Bug Hunt, I say it's one of the handful of ones in it that I actually liked. Because I thought Bug Hunt was a bit of a train wreck. Well, a disappointment overall. But yeah, there was a good 5 or 6 in there that were good and I really enjoyed. And there was this fictional sort of like documentary documenting the history of the pulse rifle and how originally it had been like a bag of crap, and then no, it wasn't a bag of crap to start with. It was made by a retired guy in his backyard, basically in his garage, and it ended up being this industry standard thing. It was very worth reading. It's worth revisiting that one. And here's a look at some of the rifles.
That looks like a sniper rifle on the bottom row.
Yeah, it seems to have it seems to have a bit of a sniper stock there, but not the scope rifle from the tech manual. And I think this one here is one we've got some fluff of later, the Type 79 or something. We'll get to it. And here's some of the technician perks. So the gunner is more of an all-around shooter. The perks were increased rate of fire for the squad and grenades, whereas the technicians was on turret placement and the coils. So very sort of area control to it. So Adam had mentioned earlier the incinerator turret. So the basic turret you could then upgrade to be a heavy turret or a flamethrower. And here's the layover for the incinerator. I like that. I liked that you could customize it like that.
Yeah.
Though I do still think the placement animation needs changing. I do not like the throw and pop up thing. I would like
the game's just so fast paced. I mean, but yeah, we'll see.
And so the main loadout screen for the technician, who's doesn't get as good weaponry as the other guys. He only gets a handgun and a close quarters thing.
I do like that beefy looking Magnum handgun though. That looks cool.
The Kramer name's interesting because I'm sure it's only unintentional. I don't know if it has any real world thing, but Kramer was a character in one of the novels. I think he was in No Exit, the alien detective in that one. So I think that one's interesting. And that's his standard appearance. Well, her standard appearance. Although I did so there is further levels of customizability, because in some of the gameplay footage, you did see a different skin tones and gender as well for the technician. So you can go further than just the armor from the looks of it, which is good. A different shotgun there. So So some of the other perks then, the agile practices increases your agility and reload speeds. Improves the duration of an ability by 20%. So yeah, lots of just stat modification in the perks. The heavy turret one. No, this is just the normal turret one actually. And the charge coils. Now these were an interesting addition that made us think poorly of the warrior in that initial.
In our last video, we thought the warrior was just approaching our marines pretty slowly, but it was pointed out to us that that was actually a charge coil that slows the aliens down. So it makes much more sense. And having gone back and watched that footage, yeah, you can see the charge coil hitting that warrior. So that's nothing to worry about.
And that's not this isn't something I think we've really seen in any of the lore before. So it's an interesting addition. It makes sense in terms of gameplay. So yeah, nothing really much to add on that one. What's this one? Increases the accuracy and lethality of handguns by 15%, which obviously makes sense since you only seem to get to use handguns and subbies, more close quarters. And yeah, so this is that white one that I mentioned earlier, the Type 78 heavy assault rifle. Ignore the picture, that's a crate. Yeah. Weyland-Yutani's heavy assault rifle maintains lethality at range while also providing a very effective close-range weapon. The recoil is on the high end for a battle rifle, but it packs quite a punch. Intended to counter the dominance of the Kramer assault rifle in private contracting market, the Type 78 was repeatedly delayed by redesigns, scope creep, and cost overruns. The end result was a good rifle, but not the game changer promised. So Weyland-Yutani trying to get in on the weapons manufacturing. And looks kind of like it has a bit of a bullpup appearance. So it looks kind of like it is in Colonial Marines, actually, because they have a Weyland-Yutani assault rifle in that I think is a bullpup.
Yeah, so it will be cool to see more assault rifle designs beyond just our pulse rifle. I'm still hoping for that. The EM41, I think it is, from Alien Descent, makes an appearance somewhere else.
You're obsessed with that, but I think that's mostly
think it's
because
such a cool
you've got to go and do the event.
That's part of it too. And I know the gun is just kind of built around that VR Guns design, but I still thought it looked really cool.
But it does seem to be like they're going to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink in at this one. So I bet we're going to see visualizations of some of the stuff in the RPG. You know, like the UPP weaponry and stuff like that. That would be a welcome addition, I think. But yeah, so this was mostly a bit of a gun porn kind of episode, which is fine by me because that is some of the appeal to the Colonial Marines for me. It's one of the things I like to see in the EU is all the equipment and the weaponry and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the next few weeks ahead, going through the rest of March, what other news IGN and Cold Iron will have in store for us.
So we'll probably be back next Tuesday or Wednesday, actually. So
they seem to be doing 2 a week. So
yeah, I thought it was going to go Tuesday, Thursday, but then they did Tuesday, Friday. So we'll see. Anyway, any specific weapons from any of the comics or any of the laws that anybody'd like to see added to the game? Make sure you throw up down in the comment section below and let us know. Always love to hear about some of people's favorites when it comes to stuff like that. Adam's already said, he wants his EM, what was it, 42?
41, I think. 41.
I'm hoping for the scope rifle from the tech manual, but what about everybody else out there? Adam, how are you feeling? More interested in the game or less interested in the game the more we're being teased with?
The more we're being teased with, the more interested I am. I mean, I was already interested. As soon as they showed it off, I thought it looked awesome. No, I think it looks fantastic, and I'm excited to get a chance to play it. Hopefully there will be a demo. We'll see.
Hopefully. Oh, I do hope the original pulse rifle's in this actually. As well.
Yeah, they should just include that for sure.
That needs to be in there.
Because every game where you have a little bit of a different pulse rifle, they end up modding it in anyway, don't they? Like they did that for 2010, I think, and for Colonial Marines, didn't they do like?
Well, you picked up Hudson's original rifle.
Yeah, but it was a
in-
burst fire. I think that's what the mod was. It took Hudson's rifle and just made it into the automatic one in that one. But I think in AVP 2010 somebody made a mod that brought back the original pulse rifle for that one.
I don't remember that one, but yeah, please put it in the game. We would like it. And a VP 70. I need my Veeps. I need my Veeps. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. This has been Corporal Hicks
And Ridgetop?
signing off.